Presented by RomulusIT.com, offering remote support for common computer problems.
Now, every entrepreneurial tale these days launches into how a founder goes through capital raising. They get investors and they make it rich. You're from a finance background, so this plays to that a little bit. But is there any advice that you could offer to someone who really starts their business in their garage or their bedroom in a small town without, the network or connections, or who doesn't even live in a major metropolitan area?
Sure. Well, I think, look, one is there's no magic to quote, venture capital. I think if one can start a business and grow it without any investment, that's better. It's like why you don't need to take money for the sake of it. Now, if you want investment and you want to maybe grow faster than you can generate the money from your business for, which is a very valid thing, you really see an opportunity and are willing to sell a part of your company to have those resources, then capital can be good. And the reality is people with capital are dying to meet people with a good business. They literally want to meet them. And so, while again, back to this getting out of one's comfort zone, one can go on an entire expedition to try to identify and contact investors who might be interested in whatever the thing is that someone started in their garage. There are investors for most everything. Now, it's not the same investor. You have to find investors who are looking to invest in things at this stage, in this geography, in this industry, at this time, which takes a lot of doing because you have to, parse through the morass of all these investors. But once you find those people, they want to meet you. And then you go and you say to them, this is what I'm doing. And they say, that's exactly the type of thing to invest in. And then you try to make an arrangement. It's actually not that much more complicated than that. It's really at another level. It's like, if you were to, it's someone who has already determined that the kind of things you're doing are interesting to them, figuring out where those people are, getting in touch with them and talking with them. And then if you like each other and you trust each other, people, say, okay, how much do you need? And I'd like to invest X, and we'll work it out. And then you make a deal and then you get the money and there you go. It's actually not that much more complicated. It's not more complicated at the core. Now, It's very complicated from oh my God, how, figuring out all these people and contacting them and the meetings and multiple meetings and diligence and documents and all this stuff. But at a basic level, it's not more complicated than that.
And when you get the chance to get in front of a bona fide investor, let's say, how should you present your case for financing? You touched on storytelling earlier, but for people that maybe don't have a background in pitching, what needs to come across?
Sure. So the first thing you have to recognize, okay, is everything that you've done, right? Imagine to get in that room, you've done so much work, and now this is your opportunity. And you also have to. It's always important, I find, in life and business, to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Okay, so you can determine how to address the situation. The reality of whoever this person is you made this meeting some time ago. They may have, between those two times, forgotten exactly what you're about to talk about. They have 100 things going on in their life. That's literally everything from a personal emergency to a business emergency to, they're running late today. You know what I mean? And they didn't sleep well last night. And you know all of that. And so here's the thing. You have to come in and you have to capture, you have to recognize, I probably have not a lot of time to capture their imagination and to tell them what I'm doing. I have to be respectful. I have to understand where they might likely coming from and get to the point in a really efficient way. And they're going to appreciate that. And so, the way I think about it, regardless of how long a meeting is scheduled, sometimes it's calendared by one party and the other person accepts it, and maybe 1 hour was blocked out or whatever. I think of it as like, look, you really have 20 minutes to tell someone what you're up to, and kind of get a confirmation from them they're interested in hearing more and keep going. And so I think of it, obviously when you meet someone, you want to like introduce yourself and just have a moment and, hear about them and hear about you. And then, I like to have some slides that are well organized. And then, literally it's like, here's the business, here's how we make money, here's the big opportunity, here's why I'm raising capital, this is what my team is like, this is what I think we can do, and and get to it. And then look, it's a process also. No one's going to invest in one meeting. Your first meeting is essentially to get a second meeting. So you don't have to cover everything, but you have to get to the, and also, by the way, think about someone who's got money. They're thinking to themselves when they're watching, is this person someone who's going to be able to recruit clients, other employees? Are they going to be able to go do this whole thing? And if someone comes in and they don't get to the point and they don't tell a concise story and they don't try to hit what an investor would want to know about a business opportunity, they're going to say, well, this person probably can't do those other things either. So it takes a lot of planning, but it's very easy to do. It just takes work and planning, and then to execute it when you go in, get your point across.
So is that first meeting almost introductory then?
Well, it's introductory. It's certainly introductory in the same sense you are introducing yourself and the opportunity to this person by definition. It's high level. There's going to be more detail. That's the thing. It's like, here's the other thing. It's like, you too don't want the second meeting if this person, like I've had situations where you go pitch someone and literally the outcome is, I don't know how I made a mistake. I actually thought you were at a different stage than you are. And like, there are people who might like you and they're like, I like you, I like what you're doing, but I have created, let's say I manage money for other people. So I manage money for other people. And I've told them I only invest in businesses that have over $1 million in revenue that have these characteristics. Now you should come back to me when you're there, and I like you, but I can't invest in you right now. And that's like better to find that out than to just like string it along and have a second meeting. That's part of the process too. So you want to tell someone, here's where, again, like what are the key salient information about, it's like 10 slides, 10 or 12 slides of a deck to cover everything from what product you sell, who are your clients, how many clients you have, what's your current firm's performance, what's your projection, what's your team, what's your strategy, why do you need this money, that type of stuff.
This episode is brought to you by Romulus IT, offering fast, affordable remote support for common computer problems, including troubleshooting, health checks, virus removal, and software support. Visit RomulusIT.com to get your computer back on track.